Hey, it's Guy DiMartino. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about clavicle fractures after an accident. I recently had somebody come in. They were involved in a bicycle accident. Because of the accident, they went over the handlebars, landed on their shoulder, and fractured their clavicle. And then they had to have surgery to put the clavicle back together. So now I'm using a big name, giving you the scientific name, clavicle, but what is that? That is the collarbone. So I'm going to use an anatomical model to help demonstrate this. As you all know, I am a physician, so I understand the anatomy, and I'm going to explain it and break it down for you if you can give me a moment. So here we have a shoulder model. And here we have the shoulder itself. And this bone here is the scapula or the wing bone. And this thing sticking out there, that is the clavicle or the collarbone. Now this clavicle attaches right here above the shoulder, right here, by a ligament called the acromioclavicular ligament, and that is the acromion process of the scapula or wing bone where it comes in to the clavicle. And you might have heard that joint before. That is called the AC joint. And then the clavicle, if you follow it out, comes out into the chest bone or the sternum here, and where the clavicle comes into the sternum, that is called the SC joint or sternoclavicular joint. Now, the problem when you break your clavicle, or the potential problem, is that it can displace. If it displaces downward and angles downward, it could injure the nerves that come through here, and that's called the brachial plexus. If it displaces upwards, it can come out into this area here, and it could also impact some nerves, because the brachial plexus is a bunch of four nerves that come out of the neck, through the shoulder, down the arm, and supply function. The other issue with a clavicular fracture is if it displaces too much, it can go down and injure the lung. So many times, if the clavicle is displaced, they have to go in there and put a bunch of screws and straighten it out so it heals straight. Otherwise, it can heal with a deformity. And if it heals with a deformity, it can impact the ability of the shoulder to move, because you have to have articulation at the sternoclavicular joint, the articulation at the AC joint, and without proper articulation and movement or deformity, it can impact the way the shoulder moves and the way the shoulder works. So one of the main issues, if we are making a claim for a clavicle fracture after an accident, is to make sure that we account for any future medical treatment that might have to be done, or if it impacts the ability for the shoulder to function correctly after the accident. If you have any questions regarding a clavicle injury after a pedestrian accident, a bicycle accident, a car accident, you can always reach out to me. I am Guy DiMartino, and I am meeting you at the intersection of law and medicine. Have a great day.